Yeah.
And these are the people that are going to be changing the trajectory of this country. So we have to talk to them in a direction of saying that absolutely hope.
And with that, welcome to another episode of our amazing Beyond Umuzi series. I'm super excited to be here. And moreover, I'm excited to actually get to know Melody Miya and actually hear from him. We're very actually super welcomed. And I mean, an honor to have you guys here. Just to tell you a bit about our Beyond Umuzi. Beyond Umuzi is beyond the curriculum, guys. It's just time away beyond the code, beyond the copy, and beyond the data. We're trying to envision the kind of humans we want to become. Hey, so part of the journey is learning from people who are walking the path or have been on the path, and these are people like your Melodies. So Melody is no stranger to navigating uncharted waters. So whether it's through podcasting, does an amazing storytelling and public speaking or advocacy, he always reminds us that we could be super multifaceted and remain rooted in our truth. So I'm super excited to get to know you, Melody, and hear from you. Thank you for joining us today. Please do introduce yourself.
Look, I can't even introduce myself better than what you've said. You possibly forgot what is that he's handsome. Hello, everybody. Opportunity, firstly. It's a privilege to be able to be on the platform to the family. I want to say it's by God's grace that we're able to come into these kind of platforms. So wherever you're watching from, thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I agree. And guys in the chat set, just let us know who you are and where you're dialing from. I think so, Melody, we do have learners across the continent. So there's some learners from Nigeria. Super keen to hear from them, or learners from Kenya. Wandisile here is also joining from Pretoria. So yeah, guys.
Look, amazing, amazing. And I mean, of course, I want to be very practical. So I was saying to the team, I'm currently doing in South Africa, in Durban at the ICC, the Green Youth Indaba, which is a conference space currently that is celebrating 10 years of helping innovation with technology to recycle, to be able to change our environment. So I'm actually here as the host. And I said, I'm not canceling, I'm coming because maybe,
Sure, Melody.
just one more person can be inspired to go a bit further in their own lives.
Yeah, we're very honored, and I mean that's that's crazy. That is very crazy, and thank you so much for making it. It means a lot to us, and shall we can kick off?
Absolutely. So when I spoke to the team about the opportunity of today, it came from a place where those who might know in South Africa we celebrate Youth Month, and Youth Month for us is a very significant moment based on the reality that we come from not having opportunities because you're either black. And as time has shown, 30 years since that incident, where we sit and we say, what does it mean to be a young person today? I can tell you, but you might not like the answer. And I'm generalizing based on experiences.
Yeah. Mm.
And one of them was, we're scared, we feel overwhelmed constantly, we're depressed, and here we don't know who we are half the time. And the reasons why we find ourselves with those things are, and not always negative, hear me out, not always negative, but these are common, is we find ourselves because we just haven't centered ourselves on who we are. The existence of that when you it is not the water, it's the land because there's legs. But a duck can exist on water and but it
That's
will
very
never that it can go onto the actual water. And a lot of us are scared trying to find out who are we? Where
Ish,
are
that's
we?
very true. Yeah.
You know?
Mm. You know what? Like that's very profound, Melody, and that's something that's one of the unspoken things the youth goes through. Not being able to speak your truth, find your ground, be grounded, and actually figure out who you are and how you or who you want to be, and how do I get there? With all the stuff that is happening, also, so. It's that's a very, very, very profound topic that you're touching, actually.
Yeah. Look, it also speaks to the statistics, and then this is across Africa, is that we live amongst non-believers that makes you believe in your non-existence. Because we're surrounded by people that don't believe that they'll be bigger than what their brain is telling them, they end up believing the people that are going the wrong direction because they don't believe in themselves. If I know that I'm a man who is seeking not just spirituality but seeking a sense of identity, I then know the difference of what is believing and not believing. I then can separate the power, or if not the lack of power, in my car. I mean, you get into a car and you start it and you accelerate and it doesn't move. You know there's a problem. But the current youth are struggling with that thing of they don't test the waters enough to know that we are able, we are capable. I'll tell you a very personal story. I was probably about 14 years old. Um, my mom and dad are still alive, okay to go to school. But I thought to myself, I live a life where I don't know who I am, where I'm going, and I lived in anxiety. Like I was always scared. What if this answer's wrong? What if this is wrong? What if, and never what if it's right, but what if? And the reason why is because I felt like people didn't see me. I was just another thing in a room, and which is part of the reason why today I'm a prominent force. I walk into a room with self affirmation, but I didn't have it then. So
Yeah. Mm.
I took a decision to try to take. As 14 years old, you think to yourself, what problems do you have that would be so intense that you'd want to unlive yourself, to take away your own life? And let me tell you, it was like this is the easiest way out. I can tell you now, good 20 years later, 20 years later, I made the best decision to not see it through. 20 years later, and the reason why I say that is that hardship is never the problem. It's the lack of
Mm.
hardship comes into your territory.
Ash,
The lack
ash.
of because you just don't see yourself as a lion or
Yeah.
so you would obviously not know what to do to deal with what is in front of you. If you know
Sure.
that you're sensitive, you know you cry, then know how to deal with those reactive emotions. Self identity gives you the power of you knowing where to go and not to go.
Mm. That is very profound. Yeah, that's actually cutting deep. And to everyone that's joined, we're with Melody Miya here, and he's helping all of us here find our inner voice. And he's just reflected on his personal journey. And you know what, Melody? One thing that's sticking so solid to me is when you spoke about belief and how we live amongst non-believers. One of our biggest mantras here at Umuzi is that belief is our brand, and it's as easy as it is to throw those words and to be like, yes, belief is the brand. How you've just deciphered it for us. You've just made us realize that we as the youth, we actually always tend to forget to dream. And we have our hopes crushed. And just like hearing you reflect on your personal journey, and I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I'm just like, I like a lot of us probably wouldn't have taken it the way you took it. How did you get there? What motivated you? Yes, I do hear you. But like, I'm just like more interested in. Sure, you don't have parents. It's been 20 years and into this journey. And look at you. You are honestly a prominent figure. You're doing masses. You're how did you channel your inner voice, and what did it take? That was actually sure.
I think I think it's a thing of what are you willing to sacrifice. It had to be a sacrifice of I don't want to be relevant, I don't want to be right, I don't want to be, I just want to be me. And if you are able to love me for me, I can be unique every day, wherever I go. and it had to take me sacrificing friends. I changed locations from where I was staying. I was staying in Durban, where I am now, and I moved to
Yeah.
Joburg. And that decision changed my life. I was in grade 8 at the time, and I said, I'm leaving. I'm done.
That's a bold decision.
I promise
Mm.
you, like, it was like, what the hell are you doing? But the beauty of it was, are you worth the fight, man? And you know, self identity is beautiful because it constantly asks you questions. When you're trying to figure yourself out, you constantly
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
being asked questions. Can I do it? Will I do it? How good can I do it? And that pushes you towards yourself instead of away. But at the
Mm.
same, when there's a lack of belief, those words don't mean the same thing. I can tell you, as let's say, I love you,
Mm.
because you know what real love is, and you cannot believe me. But because I know those words alone are healing to someone else, they'll mean
Yeah.
something else. That's why you set the standard with your heart and your mind to self.
Mm. Mm.
And that's how I say, I'm choosing myself, and I'm taking a leap of faith in myself.
Yes.
Or, and it be selfish,
Yeah.
but it also might benefit the world. And here I am. I'm fortunate to have traveled across the world. I've been to 8 countries. I've
Mm.
talked around just the power
Mm.
of me knowing that I'm good enough for me. And that tells you that our stories are important. And once you find
Yes.
it, you become the voice of the voice. But you cannot
Mm-hmm.
get the meaning of self if you're always trying to wait for someone to save you from yourself. You know you have to sacrifice the habits to be.
Yes. Mm.
I can tell you about all these materialistic things that can make you better, but can I tell you, people
Yeah.
would feel like being rich is everything. I'm not there yet, but I can tell you with those that I've met, without self joy and peace, it
I
does
agree.
not give you the sense of release that you think.
Mm.
It looks great. Social media is great at showing that
I
side.
agree. Slay all the slay vibes.
It doesn't show you that someone
Yeah.
is low in a crowd of 10,000 people and he's paying for everyone's bill. There's
Mm.
10,000 people there and they're there for
Mm.
you. You feel alone while you're with them because you're there for them and not for yourself. And that's
Sure.
how I learned that the more you embrace your emotions to self, I know I'm a sensible person. I cry. Yo! And I feel like, ah,
Yeah.
but I know what's going to happen after I cry. I'm going to be
Mm.
I'm
Mm. Feels
aware
lighter.
what's going on. Depression is such a amongst us people, not even young people, people, because it takes away your light. If you know you need it, if you know you can, look for the light in your heart, look for the light in your mind that will give
Mm.
you relief. Find the light.
Woo, melody, melody. Yeah, this is very, yes, I find your light. And what I'm also getting, from still reflecting through your personal journey and what you're saying is being young is actually not a weakness because you made all of these big moves at what from grade 8? Excuse me, and when the youth and I'm actually very happy that we're having this conversation in June because it's youth month and you're actually making us realize how being young is a superpower, and it's amazing how you didn't let the world convince you otherwise. Like, it's so crazy how you had no one, but despite that, you channeled your inner voice, you tapped into yourself and you unleashed it. And in turn, you could then have guidance, and it's just taking me back to what you said, Wuti. You don't need money for all of these things, or you don't need to be the most famous person. But as long as you're fully aware of thyself, then, I mean, sure, Melody. I'm actually here taking notes. I hope everyone else is because, guys, I think in the next 30 minutes, Melody will be billing us 10 billions. So let's be sure to be taking notes. This is very interesting. Yeah.
It's also a thing, but I mean, we don't even have to count the time that we're here. I want us to count this thought. And I mean, I don't know where everyone who's watching now is in their personal lives. but I live on 5 P's personally.
Okay.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Ooh. Can we
Proper
say it together?
preparation prevents poor performance. You say to
Oh,
me, you want to be the greatest architect.
yeah.
Habits do not speak of your architecture life that you live in the next 10 years.
Mm, mm,
Say that you want to be a lecturer, but your habits do not feed into the life of a lecturer.
mm.
I'm going to simplify it. You say you want to be the best partner in the world to whoever that you love, yet
Yeah.
you're not willing to say, I'm sorry,
Oh,
not wrong.
oh, 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 oh. So if I prepare properly first before even heading into it, then I prevent. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
There's
Mm,
nothing
mm.
that will go wrong that will phase you because emotionally you prepared yourself for war. You
Yes.
prepared yourself to go against the world, but you know the vision is so clear. The vision is so clear of what I want, what I need, what I don't want. The
Mm.
quickest way to find out what you like, tell me what you don't like. Quickest way to
Sure.
find out what you like, tell me what you don't like. We'll tell you what you like.
Yeah. So
And that
yeah.
and that state of preparation is the one that gives you the sense of understanding that the opportunities you want in yourself need to be prepared by the hard questions, the
Mm.
unconscious, the choosing yourself amongst your friends where you know you and your friends are been arguing and you're scared of cutting them off, but not realizing that the day you do cut them off, prepare yourself for the opportunity to actually walk towards people that do value your time.
Mm.
The fact proper preparation prevents poor performance is the
Yeah.
epitome of success, one who wants to go bigger and better towards themselves, but also you ask yourself, have I prepared?
Mm.
Have I prevented anything going wrong?
Mm.
Like please ask them, they tell you how ready you are and they tell you
Yeah.
how ready you are. Proper preparation prevents
Prevents poor performance. And I hope we all got that, guys. If we could say it together, I think this one, you know what, proper preparation prevents poor performance. You know, guys, you didn't get it from me, you got it from Melody. That is very profound. And I'm taking this also for myself because and I loved how you're touching the point that you cannot ask yourself a question of have I prevented if you know very well you haven't really prepared. And it takes a lot of preparations actually to actually be able to deduce if you've prevented the poor performance or if it's coming. And what with a lot of what you're saying, Melody, you're helping us channel our inner voice. But what I'm also realizing is that the answers are actually from within, you know. The solution with all of what you're saying, tell me if I'm wrong, but the solution, it seems, it's all from within. You know, we have to sacrifice some things, you know, and that takes a whole lot of preparations. That takes a whole lot of sacrifice, and to get to where you want to be, to get to the goal, there's some things you need to let go of. There's some things you need to do, and we obviously don't want mediocre things. So you're not gonna sit there and push mediocre tasks or do mediocre things every day. Yeah, I hear you.
you, you, you know
Persistence, you know, takes
you
a
know
lot of persistence.
I absolutely agree with you. And here's the reaffirmation between me and you and everyone who's watching. Here's the real affirmation of what we want. Ask yourself, what do you want and how much it costs? Then we can talk.
Sheesh.
What does it cost? They
Mm,
tell you brands either you save it, you build a business, or you work a job that's going to allow you to have it. If they say for you to become the best mother, the best brother, you need to stop going out every weekend and hang out with your friends that don't work. If it means that you have to find your inner voice, means that you have to switch off your TikTok, switch off your Instagram for a week just to talk to yourself every day. That's the
yeah,
cost. But
yeah.
who am I paying for
Everything
something
has a cost.
you are going to benefit from? Why must
Mm,
I be a for you to drive a car that you're not willing to work.
Mm.
Your
Mm.
heart,
Mm. Mm.
self,
Mm.
self, finding your own voice. It's about really asking the hard questions to yourself. You are the client, but also you are the provider.
Mm.
You are the
Ish,
client. You are the service provider. You gotta service in such a way that you, the clients, are happy.
ish.
I'm saying little things but big things here. I don't know if you get.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Oh my God, it's very powerful. So Connie here says, "Hi Andrew, hi Kiabubaka. I'm just looking at the people that have just joined with you, Paul, Michaela, and Lucia Bonga." So Connie says, "I'm going to reflect on what do you want and what will it cost." That is a very important one, you know. And actually, as you're asking, and I'm channeling it to me, we all, you know, can I just quickly answer this as an example? And sure, it stays with us. I want abundance, but like it, I can't really cut it down or specify it to just like I want an abundance of iPhones or an abundance of money, but I want an abundance of everything, you know, a peaceful life, abundance of everything. And what do I need to go to get that? You know, a lot of things. And the cost. You're actually making us realize, and I'm learning a lot as well from what you said initially, Melody, again, that our stories are important, and as imperfect as they are, you know, they're very important. They're not just passing moments, you know, they're proof that we've lived, we've overcome. And for us to be able to channel that person, you need to have been from point A to get to that point Z. And you came in here today and you're daring us to hope, you know, when things feel very hopeless. And oftentimes things honestly do, you know, you apply, you're not getting accepted to your favorite institution, you're trying this, it's not working out. But if that hope, that, you know, having that belief, and like I said, it's one of our biggest mantras, it's our go-to mantra, you know, belief is our brand. So I'm overwhelmed, you know, I'm very much overwhelmed.
You you
Yeah,
ask
you've just given us the power.
you ask for abundance, and there's your abundance being delivered. I wanted to
There it is.
say, obviously, like for those joining late, I did say, unfortunately, I won't be able to be here for long, due to being at another event. But I could not miss the opportunity to
Yeah.
say now again. Your story might not be important to you yet, but in 10 years, in 2 days, your story could save someone else's life. Do not look at yourself in the mirror and think you were born to come to this world for yourself. You could be the next inventor. You could be the next president. You could be. But if you don't become yourself, you will delay all of us. Now, we're not putting on your shoulders. We're just reminding you that there is a call to life that you have, and you are the only person that can activate the depth of it. We will only know from that this is how far you can go as a believer, how far you can go as a scientist, how far you can go as a creative, but we won't know until someone does it. Why is it not you? Why can it not be you? I really
Sure.
want to go out to everyone that's watched and joined live today. God did not take my life. I did not become selfish with myself, even though I wasn't paying. But
Yes.
today I'm able to stand with such glory and light in my heart to say that it is by God's grace that we can. But for you, you need to define what can looks like. Do the impossible. Do the things that they said they cannot be done. And when you are
Do
done,
them.
leave the
Sure. Thank you
leave
so
the
much, Melody. Yo, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and inspiring us today. I know we're not walking out of this live empty-handed, you know, I know with our friends, and I'm seeing the comment section here, you know, we've learned that our stories are super powerful and they're the foundation. Melody, thank you for letting us and reminding us that our stories are also our identity. They are our source of strength, and they are the things that get us through. You know, you've reminded us that finding our inner voice is key to staying authentic. For me, that's just like, and oftentimes, you know, we want to mimic, we want to copy, we want to fit in. But I think this was very important. And thank you for taking the time to join us. You know, it's not just about the skills, guys. I know there's the best coders in this chat. It's not really only about the skills or the success. You know, it's about owning who you are and using that to make an impact. And sure, I'm just my mind, I'm blown away.
No, man, we give all the glory to God. If there is
Yeah,
still time, maybe we can take a few questions. But my last
sure.
part for this is just that I just wish you could see how much of you is capable
Mm,
versus the side of yourself. It's just that light that keeps saying, "Look at me, I'm bright," but we hold on to the negative because we can't see it.
yeah, sure. Thank you. Guys, do we have any questions? Maybe any chats? Let's we still have some little bit of time. Um, Hi Lucanio. Hi Lindy. Thanks for joining. Hello Umpo. I guess we don't have any questions, but we're very super grateful for your words and the energy you brought into this conversation. Thanks, Melody, and have a great talk there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys
Bye.
for joining. Bye. Find your inner voice, guys. Remember, channel your inner voice. And I think it was really important for us to have this session just to step away from your old technical stuff and to actually remind ourselves about who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. And it's all. Oftentimes, it's very good to pause and reflect. This was very important. Thank you for joining. I hope you really did learn a lot as much as I did. We'll chat again, or we'll see you again in our next Beyond Umuzi series. Bye-bye.